Good evening. This is Sean Futch, and I am taking a speech class at Eastern High College online. My teacher's name is Mr. McKnight, and this is my informative speech, and it's titled Trust Issues. I've written this one just to explain, to tell a story and explain people, my audience, you guys, about an event that happened to me about 4 years ago that changed the way that I just trusted people. And let me just start off saying that, before this actually happened, I love meeting new people, talking to new people, and just making new friends. But let's go ahead and begin, and let me give you the introduction. I was in the military for 6 years. I served in the U.S. Navy. The first 2 years I was in, I served as a ceremonial guard in Washington, D.C. We did funerals and, any kind of ceremonies, and we also did the president's inauguration. After that, I was sent to Norfolk, Virginia, to serve on the aircraft carrier CVN-75, the U.S. Harry S. Truman. I loved that ship. It was quite an experience, but I was in about my last 6 months of my enlistment, ready to get out and go back to the civilian world. And I could say this about the town: it wasn't a very cruel town. It was the people were nice, and I never had any problems with them or the police or anything like that. But I just couldn't believe that a simple task like going to the ATM machine would change the way I trusted people. It was on that particular morning. It was a cold morning. Nothing really ordinary, out of the ordinary about it. It was cold. It was foggy. You could see your breath. It's like every winter there. But I had it was a routine, daily routine. Every day I'd get up. It was about around 4:30. I would have some coffee and get dressed and drive to the ship and start work. But on this day, I got in my car and was ready to go, and I remembered that I had not gotten any money out for lunch that day. And I usually ate on the ship because it was free and everything. But at this time, they was doing work on our galley, and they just wasn't serving lunch or anything on there at that moment. But as I went off, I knew I had to stop by an ATM, and I knew I passed them on the way to the ship anyhow. So I was driving, and there was a shopping center. They had a really well lit one, so I wasn't afraid to pull in and try to get any money out. So I did. I pulled up there and put my card in and got out $20. And as I was pulling the cards out and getting my money, all of a sudden this car was like whipped by me and slammed on its brakes, blocking me in the front. And I was like, these people crazy or what? So I was going back up. I threw it in reverse, and all of a sudden another car pulled in behind me and like blocked me in. I couldn't go nowhere. And then before I knew it, there was a man standing inside my car, leaning inside with demanding the money that I just gotten out. As he was demanding it, I kept thinking to myself, this can't be real. I thought I was dreaming or whatever. But my adrenaline was, it was flowing really hard just now, and I was like, I kept telling him, I said, you ain't getting my money, even if it was just $20. But as I looked at him, I seen that he had a knife in his hand. It was a lock blade, pretty good size. It would do damage if he stabbed somebody with it. But I thought to myself, I have to get this guy out of my car. So the only thing I could actually do, I jumped into the passenger side seat and started kicking this man. Trying to kick him in the face, or whatever I could do to get him out of my door. But every time I kicked him, it felt like he was hitting me.